What is up, Z Fighters? It's Manga Adventures, and we're on the finale of this What If. It's been a minute, hasn't it? And I just want to bring up a few things I saw that concern people. First, I would like to apologize for getting Kaba mixed up with Tarble. That was a big mistake on my part, and I want to thank everyone who called me out on it. Continue to do so if I make mistakes like that. Second, Scotty Wood said that part 3 felt rushed and Gohan was acting out of character. I'll try my best to fix that from now on and slow down on the story, and no better time to start than on this part right here. So last, I say this at the start of all my videos because I feel like some people still just aren't getting it, but Gohan has the same, not similar, not kinda sorta, but the same ability to grow stronger during battle as Broly. If you don't believe Gohan could win, then you don't believe Broly could win, which I wouldn't have a problem with, but people are claiming that yes, Broly could have done that, but it's impossible for Gohan to do that, even with the same ability. It doesn't make sense to me. I had to let that out. With that out the way, let's get started, shall we? The Supreme Kai sits on his world deciding on the members for the Universe 17 for the Tournament of Power. They need 10 members in total in the next 3 days. Gohan and Vegeta are training in the room of Spirit and Time, so that leaves 8 left. He starts with the Saiyans, which are the obvious choice. Trunks is first. The son of Vegeta could be a much needed member, but he hasn't had any proper training from Whis, so he doesn't have God Ki. He'll need a quick power boost before going to train with Whis, so the Supreme Kai brings him to pull the Z Sword, which is said to give the user unimaginable strength. Whether that's equal to God Ki is unknown, but it's worth a shot. Trunks gladly agrees. He struggles to pull the sword and turns into a Super Saiyan, a transformation he learned from his father while he trained with him during times of peace. But even this isn't enough, though he doesn't give up. Trunks wants to make Vegeta proud and become a legacy raised on his father's values, showing everyone he wasn't such a bad person after all. This desire is enough to spark Super Saiyan 2, a power great enough to finally pull the sword. This is an incredible feat because Trunks is only the second person to achieve this form in this What If at least, with Vegeta being the first. Trunks is proud of this and the Supreme Kai is impressed. They start their training and Trunks is a natural with the sword. It's second nature to him. In only a day he's able to wield the Z Sword in his base form. The Supreme Kai initiates one final test before sending him off to Whis, throwing the hardest metal in the universe. And with one swing, the sword snaps in half. Everyone's freaking out at first, but little did they know it was a blessing in disguise, because out the sword came the Elder Cry. He sees the hidden potential in Trunks, and as thanks for freeing him from the sword, he offers to let him out in exchange for a kiss from a beautiful woman. Trunks volunteers his mother, and the ritual starts. This would usually take a day, but because Trunks has so much potential inside him, it's going to take 2. While this is going on, the Supreme Kai must continue his search for 7 more members. His next stop is the radish farmer Broly, who's made a life on Earth. He hasn't been in any battle since his arrival, so nobody knows his potential. The threat of erasure, though, is enough to convince Broly of joining. This is the most at peace he's ever been, and he doesn't want that to go away. Chi-Chi gives her approval and says once he gets back, she'll make him a huge meal. With that, the Supreme Kai takes him to Beerus' world, where Tarble is training. Tarble has recently unlocked God Ki and is working hard to push it to the next level, which is where Broly comes in. He begins sparring with the young prince, who doesn't take the kind-hearted Broly seriously at first, fighting him in his base form, but it doesn't take long for him to be pushed into turning to Super Saiyan God. But even with that gap in power, Broly is able to quickly close it. Everyone is surprised how aggressive Broly is, and is quick to realize that Broly has the same ability as Gohan in his Super Saiyan 4 form. Tarble feels defeated. It took him months of intense training, of trial and error to get to this point, but Broly was able to catch up in a single fight. Was his father right to send him away? Will he ever be able to protect the ones he loves? No. Anyone can get stronger if they train hard enough. He'll prove his struggles weren't for nothing, and he refuses to give up. He pushes his body and even God Ki beyond its limits. His hair flickers from red to yellow until finally it's a solid blue. This new transformation is enough to give him the edge, if only momentarily, in the battle. But Broly gains control once again, though the fight is stopped by Whis, who's impressed by the major improvement made by Tarble. He heals him up, giving him a Zenkai boost, but tells him to rest all the same. Training with Broly could possibly bring him to the level of Vegeta. Just the thought of standing side by side with his brother makes the young prince happy. With those two on board, we only need 5 more members. There's no time to search the universe, so Earth is his best bet. He follows the highest power level, and the first he finds is the meditating Piccolo. Remember, he was a constant sparring partner for this What If's Gohan, and in canon, he was able to catch up to Super Saiyan Goku by training with him during the time skip between the Frieza arc and the Android arc. While I highly doubt he's the strongest Super Saiyan god, he would be significantly stronger than canon Super Saiyan 3 Goku, though that's just my personal opinion. He's easy to convince since he's been protecting the world since Z. Supreme Kai asks, who are the other fighters that could possibly help? And Piccolo knows exactly what two humans to go to. He flies to Supreme Kai to a tournament ground. The audience is split between two uniforms, the orange gi of Master Roshi and the green gi of Master Shin. In the arena is Tien and Krillin. The two are sparring as the students are watching in amazement. Yes, I said students. In the time from the Buu arc to now, both Krillin and Tien have restored their old schools. With no wife and kids, Krillin focused solely on martial arts. He may not have had the luxury of being or even training with a Saiyan, but he worked hard to develop his new techniques and focus on his skills. He soon opened the new Turtle School. With the help of Yamcha advertising, it grew to a legitimate dojo. It was much easier for Tien to open the school since he was a former world martial arts champion way back when. The newly appointed masters have a friendly rivalry, and this is the first tournament between the two schools. Piccolo jumps in the arena, announcing he will be their opponents, wanting to see how strong they got since they last met. The two agree to the sparring match, seeing this as an opportunity to show off their full strength to their students as a sort of goal for them. Piccolo is clearly stronger than the both of them, so they must use tactics in order to stand a chance. Tien starts with a solar flare, blinded than a Namekian, while Krillin throws a Destructo Disc. Piccolo's able to dodge in time, only losing an arm, and counters with a Demon Wave blast that knocks back the Turtle Hermit, though he didn't notice Tien above him with a Tri-Beam that pushes the Namekian into the ground. Though, Piccolo doesn't give up, and for every split-second pause between each Tri-Beam, he fires a few energy blasts until finally he has enough to use the Hellzone grenade, knocking Tien out the sky. By the time Piccolo flies out the hole Tien dug for him, Krillin and Tien had charged up a Tri-Beam Kamehameha combo that combines and swirls together in a yellow and blue energy. Piccolo uses a mouth blast, but it's overpowered by the duo. When the smoke clears, Piccolo is missing his other arm. He grows both of them back and congratulates the two warriors on the good match before telling them about the tournament. They agree, leaving Roshi and Chaozu in charge of the dojo and tournament. Krillin then asks how many fighters they have, to which the Supreme Kai says 8. He then suggests the ninth fighter should be Dende. Krillin's reasoning for this is if they have a healer, the Saiyan can get Zenkai boost, and Tien can use more deadly techniques that could risk his life more frequently. Piccolo agrees he may not be a fighter, but he's a valuable asset to the tournament they'll need, so they'll just need someone to protect him. Dende agrees, happy to help, since killing is against the rules, so the Dragon Balls aren't at risk. Now there are 9 members, but no one knows who the final one should be. 2 days pass and it's time for the tournament. They all meet at the lookout with Piccolo, Krillin, Tien, and Dende waiting for Gohan and Vegeta to step out the time chamber. And when they do, even in their base form, everyone recognizes their increase in power. Next to arrive is Whis, who brings Broly, Trunks, and Tarble. Vegeta states he is proud of Tarble and Trunks' increases in power, as well as telling them to keep it up. Then the Supreme Kai comes with the last member, the evil tyrant Frieza. He agrees to let him be revived if he does well in this tournament. He was able to fight Vegeta, so he was the only logical choice. Tarble doesn't trust him, but Vegeta steps up, telling him you only have one chance to mess up or he'll personally knock him out the ring himself. Frieza laughs, and it seems a brawl is about to break out, but is broken up by Beerus, who tells him there's no time, and they're warped away by Whis. The team is together and now are ready to fight against other universes. The Supreme Kai, as a final measure to assure victory, offers the Patar earrings to Vegeta, stating this will fuse two wielders together, giving them great power. Vegeta refuses, saying he'll be enough, but Gohan is quick to take them just in case. So let's get into the tournament and split everyone up. We're starting with Universe 2, the Sailor Moon parody group. Krillin and Tien are targeted because Rabara has a crush on Krillin, wanting to show him her true love. The two humans are able to defeat the canon father of that universe, but struggle with the strength of the love trio. She tells him to give up because her love is so strong, to which Krillin and Tien announce they may have never found partners, but their love for martial arts is stronger than they can ever imagine. Confused and in disbelief, Rabara hesitates, allowing for her and her teammates to be knocked out and ensure the erasure of Universe 2. Tired, the two get ready to head to Dende to heal but are knocked out by a mysterious force. This is none other than the fighters of Universe 4. Piccolo is close enough to Dende to see this happen and is able to sense the key of the invisible fighter and knock him out, but makes himself a target for Universe 4. They attack with their underhanded tactics but lose to Piccolo's strategic intelligence. But this was all part of their plan to distract him long enough so they can knock out Dende. But Piccolo knows what he must do. He sacrifices himself to take out the last member of Universe 4 while erasing that universe in the process to protect their healer. The Namekians from Universe 6 saw the whole thing and believed, just like them, Dende absorbed all their race to become stronger. They aren't at full strength yet, but they need to take out that Namekian, and 2 versus 1, they may have a chance. But he's rescued by Tarble, who swiftly defeats the two. This angers Champa, who saw them as a trump card, and orders his universe to defeat Tarble. Kaba comes to handle the situation and is God form versus God form. Tarble has the upper hand until Kale and Khalifa come to assist, though this wouldn't be enough against Tarble's new Super Saiyan Blue form. He's able to defeat Kaba, but not fast enough to stop Kale and Khalifa defusing the Kefla. This fused warrior is able to go toe to toe with Blue Tarble, and though he's battered and bruised, he's able to come out on top. After this narrow victory, he's able to get healed by Dende, gaining him a Zenkai boost, making him strong enough to defeat the last few members of Universe 6, including Hit, because as explained in the manga, Blue Goku was enough to defeat Hit, and Blue Kaioken isn't canon, and if it was, it wasn't needed to beat Hit. Now let's switch over to what the other Universe 7 members were doing. Frieza is fighting the members of Universe 10 because he saw them as the weakest and easy targets. He took pleasure in doing this because they all begged him not to erase their universe and defeat their fighters because they had families they wanted to protect, but the tyrant did it anyway, bringing them back to the good old days. Universe 10 was erased. Next, we see Ultimate Trunks taking on Universe 3. He was never good with technology, unlike his mother, so he takes joy in beating androids and robots alike. The universe panics and forms their Ultimate Warrior, but with a blast from the burning attack, he wins the day. Broly absolutely manhandles Universe 9 and their Beast Trio, who couldn't even harm him in any way, and at the end, we're running away from the Berserk Saiyan, but are eventually caught and erased. Jiren spots this and sees him as a threat. He makes a beeline, but Broly isn't going down without a fight. Vegeta uses his opportunity to take down the remaining members of Universe 11 until he's met by Toppo, the future god of destruction. Vegeta shows off his new blue form, which is much stronger in canon due to training with Gohan, so he's able to beat Toppo with his new form alone. Meanwhile, Gohan defeats the rest of the Pride Troopers. Now the only one left is Jiren, who's able to see the increase in strength of Broly and didn't want to drag out the fight. Yes, Broly can get up time and time again, but if he's thrown out the arena, he's automatically defeated, which is easy since he's unable to fly. And in his berserk state, he isn't really thinking about strategies or rules, etc. Seeing their last target before victory, Trunks, Tarble, and Kaba all stand side by side to do a Family Gallic gun, but they're unable to even scratch Jiren, who simply walks through the blast and knocks out Trunks and Tarble, though Vegeta is able to hold his ground just long enough for Gohan to come in and rescue him. Dende rushes over to heal Vegeta. Gohan isn't having much luck against Jiren either. Vegeta knows what he must do to not only save his family but the entire universe. He must swallow his pride and work together. He tells Gohan to give him the earrings that the Supreme God gave them earlier so they can fuse, though Gohan isn't able to do this just yet until Frieza steps in to buy them enough time. When both are placed on the opposite ear, they become Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, the Ultimate Warrior. They weren't fast enough to stop Frieza from being eliminated, but they are strong enough to easily overpower Jiren, who at this point has been holding back. Though even at Jiren's maximum, Vegeta is still the superior fighter. They are about to end this brawl and win the tournament until fusion comes undone. The power between the two was too much and the time limit felt almost instant in this crucial tournament. Vegeta rushes in to fight a weakened Jiren, telling Gohan he's the only one who can win this fight and that he himself has been already healed. He's able to land a few hits in but is ultimately defeated. Jiren then aims at Dende, not Gohan, because he figures out he's been healing his teammates. Gohan uses his body as a shield to protect his teammate from the blast, but loses his arm in the process. Now it's a one-armed Super Saiyan 4 Gohan versus a greatly weakened Jiren, making this an even brawl. They both see this, so Gohan knows what he has to do. He tackles Jiren and pushes him out the arena with all his might, leaving only Dende remaining in the ring. ring. Universe 7 has won and has been spared from erasure. They also get one wish from the Super Dragon Balls. The kind-hearted Dende uses this wish to bring back all the other universes, which is, at least in my opinion, what his character would do. Everyone's happily reunited with their friends and family. With the tournament over, we have one more loose end to take care of. Broly. It's a very simple movie, so this should be quick. Frieza was revived as promised because he did eliminate an entire universe and give his team enough time to fuse. So he uses this chance to retake the universe, no longer worrying about the Saiyans on Earth. Paragus is soon found because anyone with a decent power level is recruited. When it's found out he's a Saiyan, the story on how he arrived on that planet is revealed, with the addition that his son Broly seemingly disappeared into thin air one day. Frieza takes interest in this, seeing how Paragus hates King Vegeta and remembers that Broly was a powerful member in the tournament. They head to Earth to retrieve the Dragon Balls for that wish of height, but the Z Fighters had already collected them to bring back Gohan's arm, though they're still stolen by Grunts and brought to the Arctic. Now for this what if, let's say Chi-Chi was more upset than anyone that the Dragon Balls were taken because she really wanted her baby boy to gain his arm back. Since Chi-Chi is so persistent on going, Broly wants to go as well to protect her just in case. So now we have Vegeta, Gohan, Broly, Chi-Chi, and Bulma. They arrive and are met by Paragus and Frieza. Broly is happy to see his father, but Paragus is disappointed that he became buddy-buddy with Prince Vegeta. Broly is confused until Paragus pulls out the shock device. No, Broly no longer has the collar on, but the psychological effect will always be there in his head. He's been tortured by this for years. So he reluctantly listens to his father and attacks Vegeta. Since he's much stronger in this what if because of all his training, Vegeta must immediately go to blue and even gain the assistance of Super Saiyan 4 Gohan. An enraged Chi-Chi marches over to Paragus during all this time and snatches the device from him, saying you can't control this kind-hearted boy anymore. Paragus smacks Chi-Chi and takes the remote out her hand. He charges up a blast to kill her, but Broly sees all this happen out the corner of his eye and snaps into Super Saiyan for the first time, attacking his own father to defend Chi-Chi. Though because he's so strong, he kills Paragus on impact. All this fighting amongst Saiyans puts a smile on Frieza's face. Though what he wasn't expecting was for Broly to go full berserk after killing his father, turn it into a powered up Super Saiyan. Unfortunately for Frieza, he was the closest and became Broly's punching bag, dropping the Dragon Balls in the process. Chi-Chi awakens and sees the monster Broly became. This brings a tear to her eye because she knows how good this man is, so she uses the Dragon Balls and wishes that he will return to the world he came from, knowing Earth will always have conflict and conflict will always bring out the monster in Broly. With the Dragon Balls gone, Frieza has no more reason to be there and leaves. This what if ends with Chi-Chi going to Vampa and dropping off a 4-course meal like she promised earlier in the story. Probably my longest video so far. I would just like to explain my reasoning for having Gohan have the same ability as Broly. Like, a lot of people believe that Broly's ability is tied into the Great Ape in some way, shape, or form, and I thought I would use that opportunity, since Super Saiyan 4 is pretty much the same, to have Super Saiyan 4 Gohan have that same ability. You know, I personally felt that would make sense in the context of the continuity, but I completely understand that people wouldn't agree with it because if it doesn't come out of Kira's mouth, it isn't canon. But with that out the way, I believe I covered everything. Thanks for watching the video. Tell me what you think in the comments and be prepared because the next what if I would do will be my last Gohan what if before I switch my focus on other characters. So get ready for that.